Some call him the most interesting man in the world.
That is setting up the morel mushroom bonanza.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be bonanza?
Mushrooms grow better with thunder and lightning.
Others call him Coach. But to everyone else, he's Bill.
I want to get one of those military ab stimulators for us to wear during the show. Have you seen? I sent it to you today.
It's time for Bill's Thrills on Early Break. Sponsored by Dirk, Scott, and Ty at Mid-Plains Advisors.
We had a wonderful discussion yesterday in Bill's Thrills about football facts, up or down in the press box, or in the
field or press box.
To coach from if you're assistant coach. Today, though, is what's bothering Bill. Bugaboo Tuesday, a favorite for our listeners. For Bill's Thrills, sponsored by Mid-Plains Advisors. Bill, what's on your mind today?
Steve Sipple has supported that he wants me to do bugaboos every day. Things that bother Bill. Which
day.
you can buy, so the list is long. The list is long.
We've barely made a dent so far.
We've barely made a dent. I can do. We got like 10 years lined up of this stuff.
10 years. Boom.
Boom, like that.
Make
All right,
it
let's have a
happen.
conversation.
Oh, there's the flip.
Craft, creativity, demise. Craft, creativity, demise. The absence of the game shows that once were.
Okay. I'm in.
So, okay, I'm just gonna. I don't care. What everybody says. Come at me if you want. I don't.
We're
care.
coming right out.
Come at that. I think that any sort of hygiene is really important. So I get. It's not only hygiene, but I get pedicures occasionally.
Do you?
I do. I love them. I don't love them.
I'm not gonna bash you.
I hate them. I hate getting them. But it's just one thing that's like, no,
I bite my nails.
Get your feet
I
buffed
bite
up.
mine too.
Get your feet buffed up occasionally.
Oh God.
So as I'm there, and I love the place I go, Trang. That's who. She's unbelievable.
Trang.
But on the TV all the time there's like game show on it, and it was Deal or No Deal.
Okay. Oh, that's a good show.
It's awful. It's with Howie Mandel, and all there is in the show
like that
is
show.
they bring out 30 like smoking hot
Yep.
ladies
With the
with a
briefcase.
briefcase, and then you just pick. And they open it and they cheer if it was a big number or a small number. That's it.
Maybe that's not the show I'm thinking of.
That's all they do.
Do you know who hosts it?
It's Howie Mandel.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
That's
Howie
not the one
Mandel.
I'm thinking of. That's
so
not
that
the
got
one.
me started like the epic, the fun of the Newlywed Game. Back in the
God,
and it had the moving, set,
Yeah.
and so they'd bring the newlyweds out, and they'd go back and the men are backstage,
Yep.
and they'd ask the 3 questions, and they would bring them out.
Do you remember
and
the
they would-
host?
I can't remember the host. He had Bob
look
was
it
his
up.
name. His name was Bob. His
find it.
first name was Bob. Dark hair, looked incredible, smooth. It was like
He was incredible.
When you saw him on, you just like it was Bob was his name.
Bob Eubanks.
Bob Eubanks.
Bob Eubanks.
Think about the name. Hello, Bob Eubanks. So that's so
Perfect host.
How about the dating game? The secret panel in behind.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring out 3 eligible bachelorettes. And they ask them the questions, and they get to meet, and they come around the
get a
corner. A little dicey.
Yeah.
There'd be some innuendos.
Right. There a lot of
A
them.
lot of innuendos.
And they push the limits.
They pushed the limit. And this is in the late 60s and
Yeah.
70s, so it was
Yeah.
big.
It was
Then
funny, though.
The innuendo game also was match game. Remember match game? And then there'd be a lot of innuendos that'd be like the something blank, and everybody go, ooh. And it was very PG at the tops, but it was.
I hope you get to one. There's
So
one I'm waiting
here's
for.
the one that was, in my mind, was the best. And there was a lot of great ones like that. The classic, Let's Make a Deal. They had to dress up in costumes. Everyone came in costume to the studio, and it's like 1970, and they flash live, and they had to pick like door 1, door 2. I pick door 2, and they'd pick like 3, and they get the wah wah wah.
I knew it. Come
and you
on.
get just nothing, or a new car. I mean, and they're in like chicken outfits or something. They come all dressed up. It's incredible. That is missing.
How about now the one that freaked me out? How good it was, and it was on at noon, and it always interrupt my lunch. The Gong Show.
The Gong Show was incredible.
Yeah, it was. Chuck Barris.
Chuck Barris.
Chuck Barris.
He was out there.
Yeah, who was out there. He had some problems.
But
he was funnier than hell.
And they would gong him.
And sometimes it'd be wildly inappropriate at noon. I'd be like, "Mom, I'm sorry, it's on. I mean, I can't do anything about this."
And they're waiting they're like really a gong. They start yelling gong. All of a sudden they wouldn't do it. They'd let it keep going and laugh. Because it's like an entertainment show. People came with entertainment. And
it wasn't really a game.
And it was terrible in essence of the thought of it. But the guy was like
Chuck Barris was funnier than hell. He was
Gong
funnier
Show.
than hell. I read a book about him. He had some major problems.
incredible. But now we have Deal or No Deal. What do? We bring out girls in dresses, and then we
I
pick.
haven't- okay,
Give me 28, and they open everything.
That's not the thing. That's not the show I was
the
thinking of.
newlywed game.
People are saying "Press Your Luck" was a show. Maybe back.
Press
in
Your
the day?
Luck was
Press
one.
Your
Yeah,
Luck?
Press Your Luck
Okay.
was one. Yeah, I wasn't that. That wasn't my show at all. But there was several good ones. I mean, they're
Well, The Price is Right.
Price is Right,
Still
and
around.
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune have been on forever.
Forever.
So I just went back to the ones that just
Those
the
are good.
newlywed game really grabbed
was
me.
incredible.
That was incredible. Some of the things, and then when they talked about that, it was shocking how what people didn't know about the other person. They had no idea. And they had the answers on cards, and they had them written with a Sharpie, and they'd have to hold the card up with the answer. It was incredible. I couldn't imagine working at that.
what was the headline again?
With the craft creativity demise.
Bring back the good game shows.
Bring back.
There's
the good
not. They're
games.
not
missing.
out there as much now.
Family
like that.
Feud's okay, right?
Family Feud, but that's carried on. When it was Richard Dawson,
Yeah.
it was up because he had the long
Richard
microphone.
Dawson,
Just kiss
wildly
everybody.
inappropriate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wildly inappropriate.
Wildly inappropriate.
It's like, this is on like at 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, don't know if he can do it
No,
anymore.
no, don't.
This show's still pretty with Steve Harvey. It's still Harvey's not so
There's
inappropriate.
there are
There's just
some-
some inappropriate.
Things that happen.
There's some things that will pop up. I read some things. There's some little clips. They're funny.
Yeah.
They have some stuff there. So not everything is just horrific. But
But
anyway.
it's not like it was.
No,
It's not.
No, I mean you watched every day.
I watched The Gong Show
you
every
watched
single day.
at noon.
People are saying for the Press Your Luck, which you didn't mention, someone said it's a big money, no whammy. Is that,
Yeah.
that the line there?
Yeah, big
Big-
money.
big money, no whammy.
The
Yeah.
Gong Show. I'm thinking back to the Gong Show. It was definitely on at noon at times. It might have been afternoon at some point too. But
Match game came on at 2 or 2:30.
Okay.
I remember that.
I can
Many
remember
times.
eating lunch at the table and always turning around and watching the Gong Show. And then
Think
my
of
mom.
better times,
Yeah.
Jake. Think about that.
Yeah, we'd actually sit down and eat
There was
lunch.
good game shows back then.
Sat down, ate lunch, watched the Gong
My
Show.
mom would make a sandwich
Yeah,
with
make a
my
sandwich.
brothers, and
Yeah.
we'd sit down and
Watch
eat.
the
Yeah,
Gong
yeah.
Show together.
I'd turn around. My back was to the TV, but I'd always turn around.
All right, here we
That's
go.
Bill's Thrill, sponsored by Mid Plains Advisors, Dirk Scott, and Tire
Oh, they'll make
Contacts
you a
for
lot of
all
money.
your
I'm telling you
financial
what.
needs.
Those guys are making a lot of money.
Yes, they are. Mid Plains Advisors.
Okay, the floor here, first of all, belongs to my sister, who?
Tammy.
Tammy was
She's
involved.
unbelievable.
Yeah, she was involved. in
She's
this.
one of the nicest people at the wedding.
And she really can't give a scathing review of this, I don't think, because some of this had some of her thoughts to it. Yeah, so she had some thoughts. But I thought so this we're going way off track here on Wild Card Wednesday. We're going back and we're really touching on some coaching things and football. Okay. So if we're going back
There's
to
the
that.
flip.
There's the flip. with that.
You got a good headline today?
Not really. It's not a real grabber for us. It really is like that. But here's the deal.
Grab me.
All staffs are not the same. So football staff like that, don't think that they're like, well, yeah, that staff's everyone you're on. It's kind of like I used to liken this to dogs. You know, like that. You don't get like 14 great dogs in your life. You get 3 or 4, 2 or 3 if you have at certain ages. Like that Bullet's a special one. You probably had one as a kid.
don't
Different
bring it up.
ages. But you don't get that. Same way with staffs. You don't get these. Sometimes I've been lucky. The staffs I've been on some ridiculous staffs with Barry Alvarez, Kyle Whittingham, Ed Ogeron, Urban Meyer. I mean, all these people, Bill Callahan, all these people
Callahan,
that I
yeah.
was on, Tom Osborne, Barry Alvarez. I say Barry already, but yeah, a lot of dudes. So it was fun. But I wanted to talk about so that we talk about up and down. So I want to talk about shoulder to shoulder press box, shoulder to shoulder when
I
you're
told
there.
you, I can't hear enough about this.
Shoulder to shoulder, and you're with real dudes. It's incredible when you're with those staffs when you get into a game and offense is there and just first of all there is a lot of spirit in there as far as like if one side's kind of struggling, not going at that, there's no. You don't look over at the other guy like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah,
What
you're
are we
costing me
doing?
my job
What
here.
are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Can we stop somebody?
Yeah.
Hey, any chance for a first down here? Like that. Everything is always
Run
like
some clock
like,
here.
Hey, it's positive. It's this. Everyone's always kind of talking back and forth. You have some fun times and different things like that. Like I remember LSU. I'd be like, hey, Steve Ensminger. I'd be like, Steve, hey, have Joe throw the ball to some of those wide receivers. We'd laugh.
I bet you guys are having fun.
We had some fun with that. I remember the game when Melvin Gordon ran for like 700 yards against Nebraska.
Easy, yes.
Yeah,
I
tough,
wore
tough
I-
situation.
I talked to Andy Ludwig, the offensive coordinator. I'm like, about the middle of the third quarter, I go, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I just keep feeding Melvin, maybe. Stuff like that.
Might want to pitch it to him.
But I remember the national championship game, we get stuck inside the 5 the first 2 series, and we don't get a first down. And I remember
That's right.
Coach
That's right.
Ogeron was concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Was very concerned.
It
There
did-
was-
it was-
There
I
was
get that.
conversation on the headphones at that, and I remember Steve. And the press box was just like this, just calm. Everything was calm. The whole thing for us. And I also remember, but it's just the spirit of being in that is such a good deal. Also, like myself would be. I'd always be a playhead. So if like Coach Aranda or whoever I'm talking on the phone, would be like, "What do you like on third down?" I'd be like, "Do 3rd and 8." And I'd be like, "I like this." I'll go Cowboy. Give him the call. I like that.
You'd be a
That-
play ahead.
That's what I like.
You'd be a
Like
play
that.
ahead.
And then if he
Hard to do.
would call something else, what were the first words out of my mouth when I suggested something, and he didn't use my suggestion? What were the first words out of my mouth?
What the hell are you doing?
No, great. No. First words.
That wasn't it.
First words. Great call.
Yeah.
Great call.
Great
Great call. I like it. I like that. That's a good call. Because you don't want to have that like that. And then if it doesn't work, that's great. Think about that one.
Nice job.
And then unity at all costs in the staff meeting. So when you went to the big staff room and the offense, defense, you were always competing. There was this and that. But in the big room, when the head coach was sitting there and Urban Meyer sitting there and Ed
Oh, boy.
Ogeron
Oh,
sitting
boy.
there and Barry Oliver,
Yeah.
all those guys, it was a unified group. There was never like something like that. Like, we were hoping to do that, but I guess the offense didn't want to do it. So they went to practice like this, but they don't want to.
Do you think does that happen?
Yeah, there's always, like I said, not all staffs are the same.
Yeah.
The ones that were true pros were always like, how we're going to get this done, how you'd work things through, how you spoke to the other side. But it'd be like, hey, listen, we just need to know on defense, like what your formations are. We need to know this, so we have some idea what we be prepared for. Here's the stuff that we're doing. Here's what's going in. Here's
So
when it's
for
going to be.
practice.
So just for practice, for everything. Also in the room, like, we started talking about recruiting. Like, hey, Bill, tell me about so and so with your safety. Like that. Yeah, it's going real well with him. Coach, talk to him like that. Oh, also Corey Raymond's heavily involved. Coach, he's working with me on this. You always had each other's back. Not that doesn't always take place. When you get on one of those staffs where it's like just grown men in the room, it's really cool. It's really,
And
really.
that's been the most of your career.
It has been, and you have unbreakable unity in that spot. And then the last thing was, I think I mentioned here one time we were talking about coaches, and that was a time when I was with Urban Meyer in Hawaii. We were out for a jog, and we were talking about that. And he goes, "Bill, what's your thoughts? What's the one thing, Bill?" Because he'd always ask questions. He's always trying to learn from everyone. But not like he's like I'm like the voice of reason. But I was always, and it's true. It's like if you ever I always say if you get 9, and now the number's 10, but if you get all dudes on your staff. So you don't have like 3 or 4 weak links on your staff. You got to have everyone that can recruit, they can coach, they can go to a golf outing, they got to be able to do it all. And anymore, you have to be able to do it all. For a while, there's a time like, these are the kind of the coaches, and these are kind of the recruiters.
And these guys can golf.
Yeah, that. These guys that can golf. But the ones that can handle every aspect of it, when it's like, hey, you're going to be up in front of the media today. You got to be able to do it great. You got to be able to kill it. Oh, by the way, you got to make sure on the field your guys perform. And that was the thing that everyone says it and does it, but I've never heard anyone verbalize as good as Urban was. Get your unit to perform. That was your job. That's how you were judged. Did your unit perform? That was the number one thing. Have your guys ready to go.
God, you coach well, Urban.
And so
That's awesome.
It was fun, different stuff to be able to do. And like I said, and the press box there'd be a lot of fun stuff up there that would
that sounds fun.
That would happen. Like I got a picture. My favorite picture I probably have is us in the press box after we won the national championship
At LSU.
At LSU, and we're all in the press box. We got a picture of me, Joe Brady. We're all together. But
Joe Brady.
To give you an example, there's one. I'll even send you a little clip of it. I think Keith Mann sent a deal the other day to you and me with the audio of me from the press box. But in the end of the game, we're up 52 something to 20 something. We have the ball, so I'm on the headset like that, and it's just quiet in there. It's like 1st and 10. We had the ball. There's 3:19 to go. They'll get the ball back with their timeouts with 2:19 to go. Like that. Then boom, something happens. We get a first down. I want to know. We've got 48 seconds. Clock's running. They're not using their last time out. That type
you
of
just
conversation.
went down to the
went
end.
right down to the wire like that. And then that's when I go, hang on. I go, who has a phone? And someone had a phone, grabbed the security guy. We all popped up, got a phone, got a picture, and then took off for the field.
Nice.
So it was kind of a
LSU
kind of a cool deal.
2019 was a strangely good year.
It was a strange year. But anyway, the press box was like, I don't look at that picture and go like, clown. It's like, nope, dude, all the way.
Idiot over
here.
here.
Idiot over here. Nope, all the way across the board. Just
Good dudes.
Yeah, just good dudes.
That's
everywhere.
incredible.
This is the Sipple. Oh, we had a replay there.
Nope, we're good.
Sipple will be able to grasp this. Jake, it's a little out of your wheelhouse, so this is going to be for the older generation for this, but it's still something that has me very upset. It's a bugaboo. The torturous end to the TV trays. The torturous end to the TV trays.
I had a TV tray.
You're a gem. You are an absolute. And that's
so-
a great headline, by the way.
So it was
you.
so big to have the opportunity to dine and watch TV. It's like once a month, and parent mom say, "Get TV trays out. Get the TV trays out, and we can eat in the living room.
100%.
Eat in the living." This like that doesn't happen. It's like, are you kidding me? It was incredible. Every house had a setup of TV trays, probably 6 of them. And they had the ones that were aluminum that you snap together, or some were like the wooden that you fold out. The fold out was that. Yeah. Those are the people that made more money. They had those.
We didn't. We only had one of them.
Yeah, but
we had one TV tray in our house.
Yes.
That's it.
But it had the whole set. And it was always. Here's the best part. It was part of your furniture. It would be off on the side of it was off on the side of your living room. But get the TV trays out. Doesn't happen anymore. Don't you don't get that. I mean, it was unbelievable at that. And then everyone sat together. It'd be like a big TV show, something, and it wouldn't just be a random.
Something big.
There'd be something you had to be watching. Yeah. It's like, hey, the Waltons are on tonight. This is when they leave Walton Mountain. Something
that could be that.
Hey, it's the last episode of MASH. Get your TV tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to watch this.
Planet of the Apes season finale.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you had to and it was a big thing to have all your food set and ready. And you made if you had to go back for anything else or do anything, it was at commercial break.
Man, Dad would be on the recliner.
Yes. Yeah, on the recliner.
Like, don't you dare touch his spot.
Right.
That's his spot.
And then, like I said, and then you get a chance. Now what do? Oh, I eat and I watch on my phone. Just look at kids now. What are they doing now? Just watching stuff on their phone, eating. No, when you ate together and you got the TV trays out. But then I added on to it.
I like the idea of you doing this every day. This is incredible. Keep going.
Bugaboos.
So the torturous end to the TV trays.
Torturous.
Right
Might be a
now,
little strong,
I'm hoping
but-
there's probably some maybe some grandparents' houses still have them up, but they're not up. They're not up at people's house. You walk in the house.
Older generation people will still.
I
have
hope they
TV
still have
trays.
that. I want to know if the texters could text in.
They
let me
will.
know. Well, here's the next part too. The fun memory magic of the original TV dinner, Swanson's.
Oh yes.
Swanson's TV dinner, and it
Oh,
came and it
God.
was metal. It was a
Salisbury steak.
Salisbury steak, and it always had a cobbler.
Oh yeah.
It
The
always
cobbler
had
was
the
great.
cobbler was incredible.
Cherry cobbler. Yeah.
Sometimes it was apple.
And the corn tasted strangely good.
It was strangely good.
Yeah.
And remember, and so you had they had turkey and stuffing.
Yeah.
But here's the part about it was you put it in. This was in the oven only. This was in the oven. It was a solid.
No
40,
mic.
No.
You can't mic.
And it was 45 minutes to an hour to cook it. It took forever.
Oh, yeah.
And then you would unfold.
What?
It had a
100%.
It had it was basically a metal thing. It was like basically it was like
grew up at the
tinfoil.
same time.
Then the tinfoil on the top, and then you would tear back the area. Tell you in the instructions, tear back the area over the cobbler because that helped
Yeah.
crisp it up a little bit better in the oven.
This is an individual dinner.
Individual,
right?
yes.
Still took 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it did.
It did. It took that long. It's frozen rock solid. So you put it in there, and the meals were incredible. Then
Salisbury steak was really good.
really good. Then later on in life, they went to the Swanson's Hungry Man.
Yeah.
And that was a bigger portion. That was a
Still
bigger
around.
portion. Yeah. Now they have the microwave dinners everybody does, but they did them in the oven, and you had
bless
TV
you.
trays.
Can you do some more bugaboos in the 7 o'clock hour?
So I wanted to
was
talk
beautiful.
about the torturous end to the TV trays.
And if you could
And
get
the
a TV
Swanson
tray
TV
and
dinner.
a Swanson TV dinner.
It'd be incredible to do both.
My mom was
If
a
you
nurse.
did-
I'm sorry to interrupt. My mom was a nurse, and when she worked on the weekends, I knew right away. Okay, I know what we're doing for dinner because Dad doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have TV dinners, and I was happy.
Yeah, it's happy. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Moonbot says,
Yes.
my TV tray is sitting to the left of my recliner right now.
Nice.
Still has one.
Nice.
Still has one.
See, that's
Do you use it, Moonbot? Is it just sitting there
No,
as
I
a
guarantee he
storage
uses it.
spot?
Yeah.
guarantee he uses it.
Got to use it.
But if you'd have seen the setup, it's either a 4 or 6. If you had the 6-person one, that was major. The 6-person TV tray thing. And then you got done, Mom would wipe them all down and put them away. Yeah, you didn't. They weren't setting out the next morning when you got it came out. Everything was wiped
special
down and put
occasion
away.
stuff.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Now,
only had one for some reason, and it would, but it was always like maybe if you were sick too, you might have got to use it.
that is
Ooh,
so
yes.
gold. When
Make
you
you
were
feel
sick,
better.
the TV
Okay.
tray came out, and my mom put a towel over it. And then that's where there'd be a thermometer, there'd be your 7-Up,
Wow.
all that stuff right there would be there with a towel over it.
If you were on the couch for the day, not able to go to school, Mom said, "Well, you don't have to get up. I'll get the TV tray."
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So
Stay
that's
right there.
Better times.
better times.
Better times.
You know, you'd
Better
have
times.
mentholatum all over your body.
You're just all over. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
just trying to envision a TV dinner taking 45 minutes to an hour
Absolutely.
to get done.
Absolutely.
When's
Oh,
the
yeah.
last time you guys had a TV dinner? Like a
1974.
a common day one.
A common like
one you can put in the microwave, like a common one.
75.
one like from like a lean cuisine
lean
type
cuisine,
of thing.
sure.
Oh, like a week ago.
Yeah. No, I don't do
You
that.
said 1975.
Oh yeah, like a week ago.
No, my last Salisbury steak TV dinner was 1975. Whatever I graduated 1985, they used to have Salisbury steak in there.
So you never had like,
In the-
you've ever
in the
bought
All I
a lean
remember-
cuisine or something like that? at all?
I remember that they had the chicken, then they had the Salisbury
Chicken
steak,
wasn't bad.
and then turkey and stuffing. Those are the three things I really remember.
Yeah.
Those are the three Swanson's meals that I remember very well. We're gonna go Freaky Friday.
Freaky
Got
Friday.
something I wanted to talk about.
I'm sure.
Got a situation to talk
There's
about.
the flip, and there's the flip.
The cosmic creativity of the crop duster pilot.
Oh, okay.
The cosmic creativity of the crop duster pilot. So Jay and Jake, I drive back 11 hours with my new dog Sugar, and we had to drive through
Michigan.
through Illinois and Iowa. If I'm correct, the two top corn-producing states as far as volume. Don't take that serious, Nebraska. Don't get upset, but it's
Just
a
fact.
lot of corn, a lot of agriculture going. So I'm going through there like that, and all of a sudden at that, there's crop dusters, and in the yellow plane, and I saw probably 12 of them. And it was just incredible. It's like the sheer artistry of them flying.
Yeah.
And when you're watching them fly too, there's a couple things. First of all, the danger. I mean, they get down so low and they dive down low, boom, down there, drop their spray, boom, they're back up. But they have to stay in the strike zone, which means to be efficient, they don't go one big deal, then drop in a big circle. They go down and they whip it right back down and come right back the other way at it. It's incredible. And how there wasn't more wrecks, because as I'm driving down the interstate and they're going,
Oh, yeah.
and you're watching, and I'm
Like,
watching,
wow.
and I'm watching going
right there.
backwards, and as I'm going, and everyone's driving 80 miles an hour, and all they're doing is watching this plane. But the dudes that fly them, can you imagine? I mean, they got some guts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
They
mean,
got some
when
cojones.
you all of a sudden say, "Hey, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to fly full speed, whatever the speed they're
Barely
at,
above
and
the
we're going to
ground.
fly barely above the ground." Also, that is just complete nuts. Here's the next thing. Tell me a time when you saw a crop duster that you weren't happy. When I see
It
it,
puts you in a good mood.
You're like, look at this.
It's awesome.
This is incredible.
wanna
Watch this
pull
thing.
over and
You do.
watch
You
this.
want? I could sit and watch that for hours. I could pull my car over and just watch him do this thing for hours. And it'd be fun to listen to some of the from the texters that text in. I mean, I don't know how the system used to work, but they used to drop markers. It was almost like a roll of paper or something they would drop at some point in time to tell where they were in the fields.
Oh,
And that'd
yeah.
probably be more maybe not in corn, but in bean fields. Now I'm sure it's all GPS that they can just tell where they're hitting next, where their next spot they're going. That always just blows my mind of how they do that. But I was taken back. I saw 2 in Nebraska. I saw about 12 in Iowa, and I saw probably about another 10 in Illinois. So it's a small window of time too. So it's not like, well, yeah, we'll do it next week, whatever. When it's time to spray,
It's time to spray.
it's got to be done. It's got to get down. It's got to be done. So my Freaky Friday is about the pure jubilance that I have. Is that a word? Jubilant. Jubilance?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is that a word? Jubilance?
Jubilance?
I'm
Yeah,
jubilant.
jubilant.
I don't know. Something. I'm happy.
Yeah.
At the words, I struggle with words, Jay.
Jubilance?
I struggle with that.
Jubilant is a word.
Is it?
Lant.
Yeah, I'm very
I
happy.
think jubilance is a
when
word.
I
It is a word.
see when
Okay.
I see a crop duster, it just changes my whole day. And watching those guys operate was incredible. Help me with the last word here, Steve. Fall camp considerations and conundrums.
You got it.
Good
Did I
word.
get it?
You got it.
You got it.
Nice.
Conundrums.
Explain what conundrums mean.
Well, situations, challenging situations,
I had
potential
you,
problems.
potential problems. I
Maybe
had
problems.
Yes, I had you tell me about that, and also you spelled it for me today too, which is incredible.
Well, yeah, that's a good headline.
Yes, it is like that. So I want to talk about camp.
Yeah. Fall camp.
Okay, camp. One of the things that is talked about the most in any time during football, how many times you hear it? Every interview, we got to be good in the red zone. Got to be good in the red zone.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be good in the red zone. Offense got to score touchdowns, not field goals. Defense.
gotta be good in the red
Force field
zone.
goals. Force field goals, no touchdowns. I used to always say on defense, hey, field goals never beat you. They go in the red zone 7 times, kick 3, get 7 field goals. You'll still win the game.
21.
Yeah,
That'd be
you'll,
21.
yeah, you'll win the game. So field goals don't beat. So it's red zone, red zone. You'll hear it again. Probably hear it today sometime. Red zone. Got to be good in the red zone. So I got this from an NFL camp idea. I only had it pushed through a couple times in my history, and that is you start with the red zone. So day one is red zone.
Ooh.
You start, and it can be more high red, especially for 7-on-7.
Starting at the
But that high red to us would be somewhere you can go all the way from the 22 down into the 18, 16. You know, there's a different zone between it that you're the 12-yard line in. Generally, from the 12-yard line in, you'll see several different coverages because you're not worried about getting beat deep. So there's a whole different techniques that are being played. But a lot of things to it. And here's the reason why. First one. Any idea why I enjoy it the best? Any idea?
because you can maybe score touchdowns.
I don't know.
Intensity.
Soft tissue injuries.
Oh.
So
yeah.
people, when you get out
sprinting
there,
out there.
and all of a sudden you're not taking the top off of coverages, and corners aren't down the field 50 yards. So there's not a lot of it helps you get your body used to it. Because I'm just going to tell you, when you go out there, as hard and as well as strength coaches do, and they do a great job. I've heard great things about the new strength coach here at Nebraska. It still is a different with excitement, tension, all these different things. That also creates things in your body that sometimes you don't have on July 14th.
Yeah.
And so it does create different things. So it was very good, and that's why the NFL did it, was that they did not want to open up their wide receivers, DBs and stuff in the first couple days. And also it got a point of emphasis to get, hey, this gets in and get all the things done. So you could be doing 7-on-7 from the 18-yard line.
Okay.
Well, you don't have a lot of throws down the field, but guess what? It's also the zone that's talked about the most.
It is.
It's like, how are we going to perform in the red zone? So I always enjoyed that. Had it come through a couple times, and that was a pretty good deal. The second one is two-a-days, which don't exist. I was part of a couple of two-a-days, and I really enjoyed it. We did it for 3 days. So how do you do two-a-days, Jake, if you can't do two-a-day? You can't practice twice a day. How would you do that?
I don't know.
Can
You tell
talk
me,
like
Bill.
that? Here's what you do. That's a great question, Jake. Is that it wasn't a question, more of a statement. You divide your team up into 2 teams.
Oh.
So you would take the younger team, part like that, a couple quarterbacks like that. So if you have 110 in camp, you take roughly 45 or so into the morning practice, and you would do a practice with them.
Oh.
And you would teach them, here's how I go to individual. Here's how I do this. Some guys have already been through it, some haven't, but it gives you a chance to coach those young guys with the full squad of coaches.
Okay.
Then,
think I
as that
understand that.
practice is starting to finish, stretch is going on with the next unit that's coming out. So then also when
I
practice
see.
was
Yeah.
over, the next team started, and that would
Okay.
be the veterans.
Okay.
So then when that started, they got through individual, the young guys were able to go sit either in the stands or be right there, and they got a chance to watch practice from a non-competitive
Oh,
part.
yeah.
So it was very interesting. Now, it is a complete kick in the gut for the coach.
Is it?
Because it's about 5 hours straight of coaching, and so it is.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Holy
so you're
God.
doing individual twice, you're doing 7-on-7
Right.
twice, you're doing special, all these things, you're doing all those things
that's a
twice.
bear.
So it was a bear, but that was one thing that we did that at Utah State, and there was a lot of advantages to us because all of a sudden all of a sudden, like right now, because here's where it's different in the fall. Games are going to be on TV and they're keeping score, and there's 25 practices. There's not a lot of time. You're getting ready to go. You're getting ready to play games that matter
Yeah,
now.
Minnesota right off the bat.
And so you have to. So, how many looks is the 4-string quarterback going to really get? There'll be times when they do 2 platoon. I mean, not 2 platoon, but 2 different stations. I get all that, but it was a very interesting concept. Now that didn't hold through for the whole deal. We did it for 3 days.
Yeah.
We had 3 days of it that we went through with it. And like I said, when you came off the field as a coach, you're on the field about like at 8 o'clock, whatever in the morning time. You're getting off, and it was like
Can we
1.
bring out a folding chair at some point?
It was a lot.
Get this man a chair.
It was a
on.
lot,
Yeah.
but you could really slow some things down for the young part, for the young guys that hadn't been together, hadn't done the drills. Everything's new to them. So a couple thoughts are red zone to lead off with.
Okay.
2-a-days that are still potential.
I like
for
the
us.
red zone. I like the red zone idea a lot. I like it because you get everybody's attention, trying to score.
Trying to score in the red zone. If you don't score in the red zone,
Red zone's fun.
So if
Plus it's fun, right?
perk up a little bit,
If that,
don't you?
it creates. Trust me, there's
perks you up.
there's
Does perk you
there's interest in an end zone, right away.
Right away.
So it creates that. But I was more
Soft tissue.
So was more soft tissue, because you lose someone, and it'll happen in every camp. Hopefully, none for Nebraska. But you'll see guys like that. Hey, yeah, he's got a soft tissue. He's got a slight hammy. This or that. So if you get that, if you get a hamstring on day 2, and it's a good one, it's everything you take to get back for the game, to be able to play in the game. So you wanted to avoid those soft tissue ones. Now, it's so much better now with how they hydrate, how they do everything, the GPSs that they wear. All those things are so much different. So you can really monitor someone's stress load. You can say, hey, listen, they're really high right now. And it not only shows you how much they cover, it shows you how hard they're straining during practice. So there's all kinds of different avenues to be able to do that.
I do like that.
But there's nothing worse than you're out there like day 2, and all of a sudden you see one of your DBs,
Top
you
guys.
see that all of a sudden just
Pull up.
go for the grab, and
Yep.
you're just like,
Starting the red zone.
Is that usually though in the first week that happens the most?
more often it's
Yeah,
going to
first
happen.
week.
It's going to happen early in the week.
If I were a player, I just want to do a lot of red zone.
because you're excited. You're excited to be able to go play. And like I said, the difference is that's why it's like, how do people get so they train so hard? And why is it in the first game someone's cramping up so bad like that? Well, it's the excitement.
Yep.
It's the sleep pattern. It's all those things with
yeah.
it. How well did you eat? All those things. But there's a different energy with it. That's why I was always a very, very, very minimum, especially on whenever time, very minimum warm-up person. They'll be
really?
ready to go. Yeah, I don't need an extensive. Just have them ready to play.
Okay.
You don't need a bunch of extra time on the field.
Yeah.
Crowds going, everyone's wound up like that, and all of a sudden you're wasting any energy.
Yeah.
Except for getting your body ready. Once
waste
your
it.
body's ready, that's all that I need to
Yeah.
get myself set and ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good addition of Behind the Curtains. Football facts. Starting off fall camp with Bill Bush on a Bill's Thrill, sponsored by our good friends at Mid-Plains Advisors. Contact Dirk, Scott, and Ty for all your financial needs. Mid-Plains Advisors are sponsors of